Ancient Romans were passionate about wine. In fact, there was a saying that went, if you are in Pompeii, you only need to walk 100 steps in any direction and you'll find a bar. What kind of impression of the ancient Romans do these numerous bars leave us with?
All'interno del Termopolio, che quindi è un ristorante per fast food, quella è la via dell'abbondanza. In questo, quindi qui dentro c'erano delle zuppe, c'erano delle bevande, anche vino, erano multiusi. Eccolo qui, Dioniso, Bacco, dio del vino.
Locals say that the numerous stalls in Pompeii were a reflection of the love the ancient Romans had for visiting bars. As soon as work finished for the day, they would head to bars in groups. After work, food was less important, so fast food sufficed, and it gave them more time to drink. So, exactly what was it about these bars that made ancient Romans so reluctant to leave? The lives of people in ancient Rome were governed by a strict hierarchy. As one's life in the daytime was determined by reputation and class, nights were for spending in bars. There, you could be free of restraint. It was in bars that soldiers wearing armour would tell stories about life on the front line. It's known that as a teenager, Scipio, who went on to become an outstanding general in the Roman army, could recite the battlefield tactics of Hannibal. People heard about the champion racer de Gar, who despite being a slave, was able to freely love a female fan from a noble background. And sailors described their experiences in foreign countries. Many of these stories told in bars were collected by Polybius, who included them in his book, The Histories. As the peak of ancient Western civilization to that point, Rome was unparalleled in its level of development. It was this social need that made the private and intimate bars such indispensable places for social communication. And in these bars, there were stories for everyone. Over a simple glass of wine, the romance and passion of Rome through the ages was reenacted again and again. The taverns of Chang'an and the bars of ancient Rome were places where people in East and West abandoned themselves to wine. But happiness was only a part of what they were seeking. Some were there to seek inspiration or discover their true feelings.
我有酒，你有故事吗？要我说，酒就是故事，故事就是酒。
In Western myth, it's told that when Prometheus introduced fire to the world, human beings came into possession of the power to transform nature. In mythology, fire often implies the power of invention and creation. It's a power that constantly drives the world forward, and it's not exclusive to the contemporary era. Perhaps in this high-tech world of today, we're familiar with things that originated in the imagination of our ancestors. Since the discovery underground of the palace of Fa-Man Temple, many rare treasures of the Tang dynasty have been brought to light. It's said that one of these treasures amazed the entire known world. What was it?
这个就是法门寺出土的唐代的银香囊。这种香囊啊，在唐代是一种比较常见的器具。你不要看它的外形看起来似乎呢没什么特别突出的地方，但实际上这里面蕴含着足够多的黑科技。
This perfume pouch used by people in the Tang dynasty to carry smouldering spices was usually worn by women or held in their hands. Today, it would be rare to come across anyone carrying around with them a source of fire. However, this kind of perfume pouch was an everyday object in the Tang dynasty. Just how did people manage to accomplish this control of fire with this perfume pouch?
我们来看一下它是怎么样子运转的。 我们把它打开，这里边有一个小球，就当做是香药。我们把这个小圆球放进去，我们可以看到，不论你怎么样子做运动，不论怎么样子颠簸，它呢这个小碗总是朝上的，所以这样子呢，能够保证安全，而且还能保证自己身边香气缭绕，非常精巧的一个设计结构。
Inlaid with many rings, the device cuts across multiple axes with the center of gravity positioned in the middle to produce a natural balance. Its structure is in fact very delicate, and it would not be for another 1,200 years that science and technology would develop a similar balancing technique without the use of external force. Today, we refer to this as gyroscopic technology. We have no way of knowing whether the Xiangnang perfume pouches of the Tang dynasty were introduced to the West through the Silk Road, and nor can we be sure whether the gyroscopes developed by later generations looked back to this ancient pouch that was invented over 1,000 years ago. However, we can be sure that thanks to the combination of ancient and modern technology, cruise ships can sail smoothly through rough seas, rockets can shoot straight up into the sky, and our modern life today is the way it is. Since the gradual restoration of the Roman Forum at the beginning of last century, many details hidden among its ruins have been revealed afresh. It's said that there are other corners here that still conceal secrets from thousands of years ago. So, what are some of these secrets? As the center of the city of Rome and the Roman Empire, sacrificial festivals were held here constantly. The presence of the gods was also a constant. According to legend, during feasts, the high priest would ignite the brazier in front of the temple and beg the gods for blessings. And at that very moment, 2 giant stone gates would suddenly open by themselves, as if the gods had responded to prayers and made themselves known to all present. Most people today agree that there are no such things as miracles. So, how was this accomplished? The mystery of the automatic doors was in fact hidden among the ruins. Below the huge stone columns was a set of ingenious machines. The flames from the altar continuously expanded the air in a massive metal container below, generating movement through pressure. Then, driven by a series of pulley gears, the doors of the temple magically opened in front of the people. This technology, which is virtually identical to that of modern power systems, is an ancient engine that perfectly integrates the physics and mechanics of machinery. It does seem incredible that such machinery was devised so long ago, and it may well have inspired later inventions. A little over 1,800 years later, the steam engine, the invention that drove the Industrial Revolution, was really just an extension of this automatic door technology. Today, 2,000 years later, the power systems of most vehicles are based on similar principles. The achievements of ancient civilization can be passed on to this day, and they are inseparable from the creativity behind them. Even though the flames of the wisdom of our ancestors preceded us by thousands of years, its light shone bright enough to ensure a better life for future generations. The sound of the morning bell at the small Wild Goose Pagoda has been heard in the streets of Chang'an for hundreds of years. Today, this pervasive sound symbolizes the prayers of the Chinese people.
今天的人呢，已经很难想象这种晨钟暮鼓对于古人的生活来说意味着什么。实际上，提供的是生活的标准时间，是整个古代的城市生活的节奏。
On Earth, time is a law that governs everything, and from the earliest days of humankind, a thirst for mastering this law has never diminished. This is because only through mastering the laws of time can we control our own lives. So, what was created in the ancient civilizations of the East and West with this purpose in mind? Obelisks like this one can be found everywhere in Rome. The angular Egyptian text on them proves that they were brought from Egypt by conquerors. But what role did they play in people's lives?
方尖碑，这几乎是罗马广场的标配了，能够体现出罗马人的一个生活的细节，就是他们如何来看时间。我们把这个变化留给这台摄像机。
If several hours are condensed into an instant, the shadow of the obelisk traces a path just like an hour hand moving across a dial. This was the basic method used by the ancient Romans to calculate time. Coincidentally, ancient Chinese people calculated time exactly the same way. The ancient sundial also relied on this projection to convey the track of time. The sundial was the universal system for timekeeping in ancient times. Relying upon it, the ancients divided the movement of time into 24 hours in the west and 12 hours in the east. From the moment the sundial was put into use, humans took their first steps towards an understanding of time. From the broader concepts of day and night to a more precise division of time into hours, the ancients developed a better understanding of the world and a greater ability to master their own lives. And their explorations of the concept of time never ceased. At the National Time Service Center in Xi'an, scientists have restored a revolutionary precision timepiece developed thousands of years ago.
这架仪器呢叫水运仪象台，它的圆大呢12米高，
庞然大物，
庞然大物，相当于那时候的大科学工程，花了当时北宋这个大概160亿人民币。
To understand why the ancients spent so much effort calculating the time, we must first understand what this instrument could do.
它是多机漏壶带动这样一个轮盘来计时。再往上走呢，那个呢就叫天文台了，可以演示天象、观测天象。中间还有一个很重要的机构，就是琴纵装置。英国的科技史学家李约瑟他就讲，这个是600年之后欧洲钟表的鼻祖。
The scientific method of calculating time through mechanics and checking time by observing the universe was the second great leap for mankind in the attempt to gain mastery over time. The era when machines called clocks that measured time by the second had begun. For both the farming culture of Chang'an and the commercial culture of Rome, precise timekeeping made it possible for society to become more efficient and more orderly. And today, the meaning of time has changed yet again.
于老师啊，这台原子钟呢叫未来的基准钟丝原子光钟，原子在能级之间跃迁的时候要震荡10的14次方次才算1秒。这台原子钟是什么水平呢？如果连续运行310年不差1秒。
我们有生之年用不着调它了。
时间的精度在不断的提高。
平常所说这个北京时间，就是在咱们这个楼里边产生的。
光产生是不够的，我们还要进行保持，就差这1秒，影响很大。航天器的测控差1/100,000秒就是300米，包括卫星导航就是通过时间的测量。
Many cutting-edge technologies led by the science of time are constantly influencing our lives. Throughout history, lives of generations of people can be compared to rafting along the long river of time. And over the course of this river, the development of both Eastern and Western civilizations has taken place over thousands of years. As the ancients once lamented, the sun by day, the moon by night, appear to rise up from the deep.